Hi Vincent, welcome at Private Kitchen. We're very honored to have you here, being one of the founders of one of the world-leading sample library companies, ProjectSAM. And I would like to talk with you about the amount of sample libraries. You know, when you look at, for example, string libraries, it's an amazing amount that you have to make a choice of as a composer, which I personally find quite difficult. You know, how do you decide and possible combinations? It's really overwhelming, the amount of sample libraries. So I was just wondering, isn't it enough now? Don't we have enough sample libraries? How do you feel about that?
It's a very good question. Well, we get that question a lot, also from friends and people around us. And well, our philosophy is like sample libraries are like, it's a bit like wearing clothes. Like you never have enough clothes, and with everything you buy, you have the promise like, okay, this will make me look much nicer than what I already have. And also, it gives a new vibe. When you buy a pair of new shoes, you feel new. And that's also, I think it's an analogy which also goes for the sample libraries. For example, when you have a new job, you got a new job assigned, you have some money, and you're a bit bored with what you already have. So buying a new sample library gives you the promise, like, okay, with this library I can finally do such and so. I mean, it's where the whole music industry dwells on, basically, because you know, if you have, you can make music with nothing nowadays. So, but
Yeah.
I don't think there are enough string libraries. I mean, whether its quality is to decide upon the user. Obviously, not all libraries are on the same level of quality in programming and recording, etc. So there's a lot of distinction between them. But I don't think there are enough sample libraries. Technology always evolves. There are new insights.
So it's also kind of psychological thing. I recognize it because I just started working on a new animation movie, and I bought some new sample libraries because I had some instruments in mind, which I already have samples of, but I know there are better sample libraries. So what I did, I bought a new marimba library and a new upright bass library, which is really stimulating also the composing. So I guess there's also a lot of psychological stuff in there.
You know, by acquiring those libraries, you feel like you've already started composing the score. Well, actually, you've just consumed. You know, you've just purchased new libraries, which you still have to figure out as well. You have to make them your own and learn how to do the switching, etc. How to do the controlling. But yeah.
And is it also kind of merchandise, because you then sort of manipulate our minds on a psychological level, that you really have to buy the sample library, because if you don't do it, you will definitely miss something.
You will fail. You will fail in composing this great new score. I mean, it's the root of our, you know, and that's of course another discussion. But of our consumerism, you know, you know, people tend to buy new stuff than rather looking at what they already have and better use what they already have. And you know, it's most of the times it's easier to just buy something new and think, oh, I will master that when I have it.
Yeah, yeah. See, you really, I recognize the whole mechanism within my own practice as being a composer. Not doing that much anymore, but still working on a new animation, for example. Okay. I was just wondering, all the composers working on a professional level, is it your experience that they always buy every sample library that comes out, at least at the more famous companies?
Yes, I think a lot of composers do. A lot of composers also record their own nowadays, but I think there are a lot of composers who are just hooked on buying not everything, but almost everything which comes out.
And is it one of your plans maybe to, because you said already composers start making their own libraries, do you know do you have plans to start collaborating with composers to bring out their libraries through ProjectSAM? Is that a possible idea for the future?
I mean, we've had some requests in the past. Some of them released with fellow developers now, but I don't know. I mean, we've always stayed away from endorsed libraries so far, basically because we like the way how we work. Maybe in the future, if a nice guy comes along and wants to collaborate with us on a library, we're always willing to consider. But at this point, we've had enough inspiration to do our own stuff.
Okay, thanks for the insights in this, and so I'll definitely keep buying sample libraries. I know it works like this when working on a new project, and it's always a fun thing that you are allowed as a composer to buy something new. That's also the way it works.
I mean, there's progress in there as we all get used to interfaces. Interfaces rule our life now. I mean, when you look on your phone or on your laptop, and everything gets smoother and sleeker, and there's a lot to gain there from developing libraries, and which is partly why we updated the TrueStrike library, and Symphobia is about to follow, because the samples are nice samples. Good samples, but the interface gets old. So when you update the interface, and that's what you see nowadays: new libraries, new interfaces. There's a lot of progress in there.
Okay, thanks a lot, and hope to see you in the future. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thanks for having me.